News. Hello, I'm Skyler Nations. Welcome to Next Level News. On today's episode, we talk about Kirby, even more Pokemon, and we continue on the repercussions of the Russian invasion in Ukraine. All that and more on Next Level News.
The latest Kirby game is coming to Switch this month. It promises to be a key entry in the series, as it's the first time the pink puffball enters the third dimension. But before it comes out on March 25th, a demo is showing us just what this change means for the series. Kirby fans get to play through 3 levels and face off against one of the game's bosses. Despite a first for the series, this game slice proves the Kirby formula is still intact. Levels are still linear, playing more like Mario 3D World as opposed to Mario Odyssey. What the Forgotten Land does bring to the table, however, are new transformations. A big highlight in the demo is getting to try out the new Mouthful mode, where Kirby can wrap his mouth around objects to use their unique abilities. Drive around as a car, spit out soda as a vending machine, be a cone. All of these are things Kirby can do now. After playing through all 3 demo levels, you can play through them again using upgraded versions of Kirby's copy abilities, another new feature coming to the game. These upgrades promise more powerful abilities with additional effects, with more abilities to be promised to be shown off in the full release. All in all, the demo is an exciting look at what's to come for Kirby fans.
On March 4th, Rockstar announced details on the next generation updates for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of Grand Theft Auto V. These updates are said to introduce high-end PC visuals to the console experience, bringing with them a slew of improvements for fans of their series. Some of these features include ray tracing, HDR options, 3D audio, and faster loading times. But the feature they are touting the most is 4K capabilities, giving users on PS5 and Xbox Series X 3 different performance modes, depending on whether they value native 4K resolution and ray tracing or stable frame rate. Users on the Series S will only have 2 options available to them, choosing between upscaled 4K or 60 FPS. Players will also get a range of game improvements and updates, such as improved lighting on all surfaces, texture quality, population and traffic variety, vegetation density, and much more. Updates also include new vehicles, tutorials, menus, new player packs, and in-game events. These update drops on March 15th for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. GTA 5 with story mode and online will be $10 on PS5 and $20 on Xbox Series X and S until June 14, where the price will increase to $40. GTA Online as a standalone will be free on PS5 and $10 on Xbox Series X and S until June 14, when the price increases to $20 for both. But fan reception has been critical, with users on Reddit and Twitter complaining that it looks like a PC copy and paste job, the price is too high, or that they lost trust in the company altogether since the release of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Players will have to wait and see if Rockstar releases a product worth opening their crypto wallets for.
The latest Pokemon Direct has come and gone, and with it comes the announcement of the next generation, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. An announcement that, in hindsight, seems obvious, but one very few were actually expecting, coming right off the heels of the release of Legends Arceus. Perhaps more surprising, however, is the fact that the game will release this year. Not much is known about the game so far, but it's believed they will take place in Pokemon's equivalent to Spain, with many settings shown off resembling famous Spanish landmarks. The most notable being a large temple that looks very similar to Spain's Sagrada Familia, a huge Catholic church building that started construction in 1882, but due to several complications like the Spanish Civil War and more recently the COVID-19 pandemic, still isn't finished. One thing we do know about the new games, though, is what the new starters will look like. There's Quaxley the duck, Sprigatito the cat, and Fuecoco, the cutest little guy you ever did see. There's an ongoing debate about what Fuecoco is exactly, some initially thinking he looked like an apple, others saying it makes more sense for him to be a chili pepper, and some arguments being made that he's a cocoa bean pod and could evolve into a dragon that breathes Spanish hot chocolate. Either way, he sounds delicious.
So this isn't take one. I don't have to censor myself when I want to go in on the pieces of crap of the world. Sonoa Cats, Artesian Builds, I settle my gaze upon you. On February 28th, the PC building company Artesian Builds hosted a giveaway live stream of an estimated $2,000 PC. Pretty cool. Or at least it would have been if the CEO wasn't the human equivalent of herpes. CEO Noah Katz proceeded to pull over 10 different names for the raffle and rejected all of them for not being big enough streamers to give a $2,000 PC to. Noah proceeded to mock these streamers by name for not being worthy enough of his poorly built PC. This rightfully pissed off Twitter, which then proceeded to cancel Noah's dumbass. And who wouldn't want to cancel this guy? Look at him! He's like a human staph infection. COVID would take one look at him and stay away for fear of contracting the Noah Katz virus. When he was born, the doctor was confused because his years at medical school never told him fecal waste could come out of a different hole. This guy is like pitching a film to Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby. Just uncomfortable. This guy is like the equivalent of watching the Star Wars sequels with some sexist fat incel next to you the entire time talking crap. We get it, it's not the best, but watching with you makes it so much worse. Touch grass for the love of God. His voice is like listening to the ILM boys, and what pisses me off is that this story doesn't end here. If it did, the story could have faded away, but Noah, oh Noah, had to go and make it so much worse. Artesian Builds is now shutting down. On Twitter, it was revealed that the company is closing its doors. Every single employee was told with no warning that, hey, you're fired. They are also not paying the employees any further money that they are owed. Noah Katz is now under tax evasion investigation, and the cherry on top is you can still buy from their website. That's right, the company that no longer exists will still take your money. AKA Noah Katz will still take your money for a PC you will never receive. On top of that, if you haven't an order that hasn't been completed through them yet, it won't be, or at least it doesn't look like it will, because ex-employees are now telling upset customers to call their banks and report the company as fraudulent in the hopes of getting chargebacks on their accounts to recover the money that was stolen from them. It just blows my mind. How hard is it for some people to not be human garbage? It's not hard. It's a giveaway. That means anyone who meets the requirements you set should be able to win. You know what's funny? The apology was only given because people informed them that they could face criminal charges from the state of California, where they're based in, for hosting a scam giveaway.
That's gonna be a no from us, dog.
Human garbage. With Russia's invasion in Ukraine, the world seeks to not only help Ukraine, but also punish Russia. While ultimately meaningless when put into perspective of this major world event, many major game developers are pulling support for their games and services in Russia. Microsoft has halted all sales of any of its products in Russia. This includes Windows for PC, Xbox, and many other services owned by Microsoft. Nintendo's online shop no longer functions with the Russian currency of rubles. And Sony has delayed Gran Turismo 7. Yay, good job, Sony. That'll really stick it to the Russians. But many more are also taking action against Russia. Graphics card manufacturer Nvidia is no longer selling their hardware in Russia. Intel and AMD have also done the same thing. Activision Blizzard has also halted all of its sales in Russia and made even a promise to match employee donations to Ukrainian efforts 2-to-1. EA has removed all Russian teams from their popular FIFA and NHL games, as well as halting all sales of their games and microtransactions within them in Russia. Ubisoft even has a dev team within Ukraine's capital of Kiev. Ubisoft giving extra funds to everyone on that team to help them find shelter in a safer place. Their main concern being the safety of their employees. Ubisoft has also suspended sales of their games in Russia. Take-Two, CD Projekt Red, Epic, and many more have also pulled support for their products in Russia. One thing is very clear. Very few Western-based companies want anything to do with Russia after this invasion. They do not want to show support for the needless and merciless invasion and massacre of the Ukrainian people. Good for them. That brings us to the end of this episode of Next Level News. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click the subscribe button to be able to catch all future episodes of Next Level News. You can even find other shows like Take One and Beyond the Whistle. We will see you next time on Next Level News. I'm gonna go play more Elden Ring.